what's amazing to me is Donald Trump, who, to me, should be on the hook for this. People are dying because of his inaction. People are dying because he didn't listen to his experts early enough. He called it a hoax in the beginning. He said, well, I think it will just pass, which is insane. You would think that with this kind of ineptitude, with this kind of incompetence, that whoever the Democratic nominee is would have a historic opportunity to just wipe the floor with Donald Trump. You would think that whoever the Democratic nominee is would galvanize the troops and point to the obvious holes we have right now in our system. The fact that $1,200 one-time check, what's that going to do? The majority of people haven't even gotten it. And $1,200 might cover 2 weeks of your rent in the biggest American cities. That's not enough. Maybe would point out that unemployment insurance is not enough, considering most of the state offices are overrun. Maybe would point out that we need emergency universal health care. Call it whatever you want, Medicare for all, Medicare during the coronavirus pandemic. Basically, whoever the Democratic nominee would be has an unprecedented moment, not just to defeat Donald Trump, but to essentially realign the American economy. You already have levels not seen since the Great Depression. By the end of this, whenever the end is of the coronavirus pandemic, if there is an end in the short term, you're going to have potentially 22 to 25% unemployment, some say higher. You would think that Biden, Trump's handing you opportunity after opportunity. But what is Joe Biden doing? While Trump is letting Trump's incompetence, ineptitude, opposition to science and basic facts. What is Joe Biden doing? Shocker. Wooing Republicans. Ugh, some things never change. The Biden campaign is secretly building a Republican group. Shock. This from the Daily Beast. Not going to read the whole thing, but Joe Biden on Instagram Live, which I'm sure that was riveting, said, quote, matter of fact, there's some major Republicans who are already forming Republicans for Biden. The vice president said, major office holders. Yeah, I'd like to see who those office holders are. Interviews with several of the most prominent never-Trump Republicans reveal that for now, the nascent effort is loosely defined and could ultimately take a variety of forms. But preliminary talks about messaging, engagement, leadership, and rollout are starting to be broadly sketched out, according to sources directly familiar with the matter. Quote, it's literally just forming. One former top Republican Party official involved with the preliminary discussions told the Daily Beast. Quote, I've had several conversations with people who have approached me. It's going to take off. It's going to happen. The question is to what degree and form it does, the source said. You don't want something like this out on the streets before it needs to be. Oh, God. It just makes it much harder to do. The contours of a developing Republicans for Biden movement are indeed fluid, with longtime operatives and former party loyalists mixed on what a final product would look like and when it might come into fruition. The movement behind the scenes is in contrast to very public efforts to unite the left. Oh, this is certainly going to unite the left, Republicans for Trump. A second source, well placed in Republican circles, who has had conversations with senior Biden advisors in recent weeks, said that any mounting effort would most likely come from within the campaign's vast network. Quote, my impression is the official one will be part of the campaign, the Republican source said, referencing the apparent Republicans for Biden group Biden mentioned. Among the GOP's more ardent anti-Trump faction, several names came up in conversation when asked who could theoretically have a role in an outside political entity which would not be allowed under campaign finance laws to coordinate with the campaign directly. Of course, that's bullshit. Hillary Clinton's campaign, as WikiLeaks revealed, coordinated quite a bit with Priorities USA and her other super PACs, and nothing happened because there are no laws for the powerful in this country. Those names include former Senator Jeff Flake, Wisconsin-based political analyst Charlie Sykes, conservative media giant Bill Kristol, former Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Steele, longtime campaign operative Steve Schmidt, former Congressman Dave Jolly, and columnist Mona Chariton. Meanwhile, one name in particular has been floated as a choice to help give legs to such an effort from the inside: former Republican Ohio Governor John Kasich. The source who has spoken to top Biden allies about a number of topics said there has been discussions in Biden world about Kasich, a leading Never Trump voice who joined as a CNN analyst after leaving office in January 2019. I mean, I'm not reading the rest because it's basically what you would think. What is truly astounding about this is not just a political strategy, and it's a terrible political strategy, by the way. This is who Joe Biden is. Joe Biden is a Republican. He was essentially chosen by Obama to cater to moderate to right-wing old white Democrats who were a little resistant to vote for a black guy whose middle name was Hussein. I mean, that's the truth. Might not be politically correct to say it, but that's why they chose Joe Biden. So Joe Biden is a Republican. In 2018, he actually went and gave a paid speech for a Republican candidate in Michigan who ended up going on to win. Media barely mentions that, but he went to give a paid speech and basically supported a Republican candidate in Michigan, the name escapes me which candidate it was, who went on to win his congressional election. He has said before he pledged to select a female vice president, he said he would consider choosing a Republican vice president. He has said he will consider appointing Republicans in his cabinet. This is all wonderful. It plays well to the media who cherishes this notion of bipartisanship. This wonderful notion, this wonderful, the good old days when Democrats and Republicans could come together, get in a room, smoke some cigars, and work together to you and me. Excuse my French. Joe Biden's campaign, by the way, when this stuff leaks in the media, just so you know how this works, it's because the campaign wants it out there. So it didn't just accidentally leak to the Daily Beast. The campaign leaked it so that it would be out there as a trial balloon that they are making the same calculation as President Hillary Clinton made. Hillary Clinton made. That we have a better chance of winning not by making serious concessions to progressives, not by choosing a running mate who is progressive to be vice president, not by putting some teeth to our rhetoric, pledging I'm for Medicare for all, I've switched on A, B, and C, but by saying we think the way to beat Trump in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, in some of these other states that are becoming potential swing states, is to woo, quote, moderate Republicans. They honestly think that they could say, well, to hell with the progressives. Bernie endorsed Biden. Bernie is going to go around for Biden, or maybe he's not going to go around because of coronavirus, but he'll do virtual rallies, and they're naive enough to think that between Bernie and Obama, I have a source who told me Obama is going to be going hard against Trump and is going to be tossing, the norms that previous presidents don't bash their predecessors. I have a source kind of in that world that said, no, Obama's going to be bashing Trump by name. So they're naive. They're out of touch and naive enough to think they'll get enough progressive support, and the bigger pocket of voters that could elect Joe Biden over Trump is moderate Republicans, never Trump Republicans, and I don't know, just Republicans that are disgusted by Donald Trump. Let's first talk about the political strategy of this, and then we're going to get to just the obvious, how terrible it is. Politically, I could tell you, the media and the Democratic Party, but most importantly the media, really inflate how prevalent the Never Trump movement actually is. There really isn't a large Never Trump movement. The Never Trump movement is the Democratic Party, but there is not a huge movement out there among Republicans, Never Trump. Trump right now is polling between 85 and 90% among Republicans. Independents generally decide presidential elections. In 2016, what decided it was Hillary Clinton lost 5% among African Americans compared to Obama in 2012. Hillary Clinton lost 5% among Latinos compared to Obama in 2012. And Hillary Clinton lost 6% age 18 to 29. What political ideology do you think those 18 to 29-year-olds were? Never Trump Republicans or progressives that Hillary Clinton gave the middle finger to when she chose Tim Kaine as her vice president? When they treated Bernie Sanders supporters and delegates like cockroaches under their shoe at the Democratic National Convention. So, Hillary Clinton, remember, she was courting Republicans. She was trying to get Jeb Bush's donors over to her. Remember this brilliant statement by Chuck Schumer? For every blue-collar Democrat we lose in Western Pennsylvania, we will pick up 2 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And you can repeat that in Ohio, Illinois, and Wisconsin. This is why Chuck Schumer gets paid the big bucks. Such great political strategy. Apparently, when I and others say, are the Democrats trying to lose? This is why we say it. Because normal, intelligent people, when they are wrong, when they have bad strategy, learn and pivot, do something different. Not the Democrats. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.